I've had a lot of requests to talk about breast reconstruction in thin women. This is going to be a two-part series. I will start by saying it's hard. It's really hard, and it's hard for a couple reasons. The first is that if you're thin, your mastectomy flap, what's left behind after the breast is removed, is going to be thin. If it's thin, there's less stuff disguising the implant from the outside world. There's also less space for me to fat graft into. And then if you're globally thin, you probably don't have a donor site for fat grafting, and you probably don't have a donor site for autologous reconstruction or a flap. Now, I will say that I still think an under the muscle reconstruction is not the way to go, and here's why. Yes, your implant might be more visible to the outside world if you're thin, but you know what looks real weird? If every time you move your arm, you see that muscle flexing on top of the implant. So I'm still a firm believer that an under the muscle option is not good for a thin woman. So now we're pre-pec, we're above the muscle. The first thing to consider is the profile of the implant. Let's assume we're doing a nipple-sparing direct implant. If you have a small breast, that allows me to use a less projecting implant. Remember, for a given width, the projection refers to the volume that goes this way. So if I don't have to use as large of an implant, then I don't need the skin to go as drastically over the implant. It's just a little bump, so that hides it more. Now, this is just your anatomy. This is something you really can't change, but if you're thin with small breasts, it can be easier. Does that make sense? Stay tuned for part 2 because we're talking about symmetrizing procedures.